Let's head straight to the capital market now. The NGX all-share index and market capitalization depreciated by 0.45% to close the week at 46,639.46 and 25.13 trillion naira respectively. That's the new level readings of the exchange floor. All other indices finish higher with the exception of NGX 30, NGX Insurance, NGX Consumer Goods. You have Lotus 2 and industrial goods, and of course NGX sovereign bond indices, which depreciated by 0.43, 0.21, 0.35, 1.40, and 0.42 and 0.05% respectively. A total turnover of 1.137 billion shares. Unit of shares worth about 10.812 billion naira. In about 23,000 deals were traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange. So let's bring in Mr. Ambrose Omodion, who is our Chief Research Officer, Invested Consulting Limited, to take us through the performance of the last week stock, and of course this week, what to expect in the new week. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ambrose Omodion. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, 0.45% depreciation last week. And what does that mean? Because we expected that because of the financial year report which came into the market, because most companies who've seen their financial report and they did excellently well. And of course, we also understand that the earnings as well, the first quarter earnings should start trickling any moment into the market any moment from now. So, but we didn't see that of that expectation impact much in the market. So what do you think informed the depreciation that we saw in the market last week?
Actually, last week was I would say it's a bearish sentiment that really prevailed in the market last week. But we had a miss up and down performance. We had a 2 days up market and 3 days down market within the week, which is not too bad. But as you just said, the investors or market players are still digesting the 2021 financial year result. I believe, since we are expecting the Q1 to start hitting the market from now, we might see a little change in terms of position. If you remember what happened last week, I'll tell you that towards the Thursday, Friday, there was kind of a renewed buying interest in the banking stock. Despite Zenith Bank was adjusted down, GTB was adjusted down, also UBA, you see there was a kind of, renewed buying interest in these stocks after they have marked down. No, that means investors in the market are becoming more intelligent to see that there's a good price that is stock there, that this stock is highly undervalued. You can jump in and take position. Seeing those banks' result and seeing the numbers as that after the markdown, the price after that, it become attractive for them to take position. For me, it's not a bad one. But the good thing is that as the market is looking towards the Q1 number you just mentioned, this is the first time we're going to see the change in terms of cost production and inflation that I've seen in January and February to play out in the result. We want to see how different companies or different sectors are able to manage this high cost of production, which is going to reflect in their Q1 number. And that is why the Q1 number is very, very important for a designer investor. This is a new financial year result we are seeing. We have seen their performance in 2021. Seeing this number now, I will not tell you where is the company is going. If you have seen at this stage of inflation, some companies are still choking in or posting a good number in their Q1, it will guide you where you should start the building your tent for the new financial year of 2022. For me, market is looking for a trigger. And this trigger for me, I said it comes with this Q1 numbers. It depends on the number, on the position, the state of the Q1 number, depending where the market to go from now. And also all the players in the market are also looking at the economic front to see what is going to happen going to the future, especially in this Q2, knowing that the political activities is just kicking off gradually from political parties. But I'll tell you the outcome of the primaries, the outcome of the conventions of these political parties will give investors the direction. Is it going to be a do or die affair? Is it going to be that we expect more money to come from the political activity to come into the economy and boost kind of liquidity in the system? No one to balance it, but it's only after we have seen the primaries from the ruling parties, PDP and APC, and whoever they are choosing also as their president, the presidential candidate, that also inform investors where the market is going. Because we have seen the history of the market in pre-election years for good almost 7 good times now that we have seen different elections since 1999. We have seen that during pre-election year, market has closed positive because of liquidity coming in. Why in few years, especially in this government, the present government, we have seen that during pre-election year, market also staggered in terms of some close negative. Let's see what will happen this year that will usher in another election come 2023. If investors see kind of a direction from the primaries and then might be a good one for the
There
market.
are three pillars that are here that I think that the market may want to ride on.
Okay.
The first pillar, of course, is the 2021 financial year report, which is already in the market, and you said investors are trying to digest that numbers as well. The second pillar, of course, is the first quarter earnings, and the third pillar, of course, is the primaries that is ahead of us. We see a whole lot of activities in the economy. But of course, the first pillar has laid a kind of foundation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've seen in quite a number of interested candidatures, I must put it that way, declaring their interest for the presidency in 2023. Recently, of course, this morning, the VP just declared his intention, putting months of speculation to rest. I mean, how do you think these interests from different quarters? We've seen Amechi declare at the weekend. Former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is also in the race as well. But of course, his benefactors have also declared. So there's maybe a bit of a, interesting days ahead for politics, and of course, how that is likely to impact the market. So let me ask of your opinion. Now, with some of these candidates we are seeing, how do you think this will impact the market in terms of impacting the investors' decision?
No, actually, at this stage now, I think we're just hearing names coming up, for presidency. It will be done on the market when the primaries of these different parties are held. Then we'll now see who emerge as their presidential candidate. That is where you see both international investor, local investor, analysts will start looking at the accent of that person, the past experience, where the person taking us, the background of the person. Does it have that business career? Because we have seen that this recent government, we have seen kind of a policy somersault. At the same time, we have seen that even when it suggests your ideas, it drops somewhere. No, we need a leader that can harness all ideas that will come and give us a better decision that will take Nigeria to the next level. If we see among the people are just declaring that we'll see a leader that will give us that, Nigeria should be happy. But we won't mind the party the person is, but if the person has all it takes to deliver Nigeria economy, at the same time create job for the youth, you can see that there's no insecurity here and there because there's no employment. That is why there's insecurity. If there's people engaged, I think few of them will go onto the road to do anything. It's because they are not engaged. That is why we are seeing attack here and there. But if we have a government that has vision that in the next 5 years or 4 years I want to bring government, I will grow, I create employment for youth. Give us statistics that we also watch. But not that I'm going to create 100 million. I want to bring out 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. Last week, World Bank said that Nigeria has no plan to bring even 1% out of poverty because what is happening doesn't show that you have that plan to bring out 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. We need a leader that will tell us this is what I will do from this stage. And also
and those plans have to be clearly stated.
Not that also you kind of sit down, review what you have done. That is hard to know where you're going. If you realize a mistake, you will build on your mistake.
So you are saying this, of course, may not have any significant
for now,
impact in the
but
market.
when we start seeing their primaries, then we can start to have impact on the market. Then we will not give for a clear direction where the economy is going. But it's good that we are seeing candidates like Vice President, Bola Mele, and also
Rotimi Amechi, who also has declared,
P2B, many of them, Saraki, all this one come here and there. It's a good one, but Nigeria need who will take up, because let me tell you, it's not just being the president. It takes other things to be a president. You must understand how the economy works. Not only people coming to give you this idea. No, if you have the idea, somebody can be fighting the idea, it becomes faster for you to take the right decision. We need a leader that will take Nigeria out of it, because really, I tell you, this is the chance for Nigerians and the youth in Nigeria to take the right decision and vote the right person, and so that we can see the change Nigeria.
We'll certainly have to keep our eyes on some of these activities in the days ahead. But let's look at the market. We've seen the financial services industry led the activity chart with about 798.24 million shares. We also saw the conglomerate as well industry also doing very well. The consumer goods also did a bit well in about over 2,000 deals the last week. But let's look at the direction for this week. What is the direction in terms of what's the support level, what's the sentiment level from investors, and how do you think, or what's the direction the market is likely to go this week? From what you've seen, the impact of some of these sectors in the market to this week.
We expect that the market should also be in a misdirection as I said earlier, that is the Q1 number that will support the market in up direction or that, depending on the state of the figures that will be released from these quoted companies. When it comes to the market, it's going to shape the market. But don't forget that in the last 3 trading days, we have seen an uptrend in terms of sentiment. That people are taking position in banking stock and oil sector. Despite the oscillation in oil price in international market, oil is still trading around above $100, which is too good for any economy. Even our budget, our benchmark for the budget is it's around 67, but right. Oil is still around $100. For me, it's still a good one. But that kind of rekindle interest in taking position is a good one. And
so oil stocks, basically.
Oil and the banking stocks supported the year. So this area that we're looking at, going to support the market.
Perhaps you may want to give us a chart, a live chart.
Yes, as you just said, let's quickly look at the daily chart that will give us insight what will happen this week. We have seen that the market, let me quickly make it bold so that you can see from wherever you are. You can see the market on this chart. You can see the blue line. This is what we call a T line in technical analysis. No, but when the market crosses down the T line here, it means that you should sell off at this price and come and buy here. But here, you wait until cross the blue line up before you can jump in. But quickly, we want to make it a weekly chart so that it can give you, a real clear picture. Yes, you can see that the market on a weekly chart is already coming down. For almost straight 4 trading weeks now, market have been in the red. But we'll see that, expect that by this week, because of the Q1 result and other positive news, like this morning, MTN has announced that has gotten CBN approval to start its payment banking, which is also good for the market. Such positive news also going to add momentum to the market this week. But looking at the market generally, once the market crosses this blue line down on a weekly chart, that will not be too good for the market. But that should not send panic. But as we're looking at today, let's see what the market will end. But on the trend of the weekly chart, it's not looking too good because market for 4 trade week is looking down, and that is also why we have more confidence that for 4 weeks market is down. This new week we are entering now, being an earnings season where the financials of many companies start coming because of the Q1 earnings season. That will change the face of the market if these numbers beat market expectation. Like I said earlier, this is the first time we're expecting this high cost in production and inflation to reflect on these numbers of this company. The number that company are able to manage it well will see improved performance even in the midst of high cost of production, inflation. The positive number that should give you an insight to what you should do with your investment in that company. If you are not there, what you also do to push into that, you take position in that company. For me, the market is not looking bad, but less investors take decision and buy this. What is the time to revalue companies? And you can see that many of the stock on the exchange are undervalued at this stage because the high cap stock that that brought the market to where it is are still intact, especially Earth Africa, Dangote Cement. They've not changed even when they release their result. For since almost 2 weeks now, we have not seen change in the Dangote Cement. But we believe that because Ether is one of the major high cap, and we expect that Ether result to be in the market between now and end of May, that will also change the face of the market. Now that we have seen telecoms again getting license to start mobile money banking, that will also tell you that sector will be a point of attraction for investors. Let's see how it's going to support the market this week, but there's no cause for alarm. The market still remain good. On a daily chart, it's still trying to cross the T line. On a weekly chart, still above the T line. That is that market is still good. There's no cause for alarm.
We'll talk about inflation in a bit, of course, which is expected by this weekend, by Friday. We should have that numbers. But let's look at the top 5 gainers for the week, which ended Friday, April 8. Mayor PLC, Regency is in that category. You have Corn Oil, Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, PLC, Wema Bank. It's in the top 5 performer for the week, the previous week. For instance, the Mayor PLC, yes, it is more cap company, but then of course it's shown consistency. That's about 56.94% as at last week. I mean, so what for this particular stock, what's the support level that they still enjoy from investor? I think let's start from there before we go to the next.
For me, the stock has almost 60% since they released the result to the market. For me, I would advise investors that are there, but the stock is not really in the market; it's in few hands. Those that have the opportunity to have the stock, I think it's time for them to take profit. There's no need jumping into the stock at this price. But for Corn Oil and Adover that are still coming up, Corn Oil declared 2 naira, 50 kobo dividend for 2021 against 150 they paid the previous year. That is the attraction in Corn Oil. For me, that one must still go up because we're seeing that there's a fundamental positive fundamental news on the oil sector that might also support the economy and Adobe that is going up, that is looking up now. For investors, this stock that have potential to go up, you can still hold your position. But those that have rallied up, take profit, because that's why I said in equity investment you must have your entry and exit strategy. Don't just enter a stock and wait the market to take you up and down. That is why an investor will always hammer on having your stop loss. That stop loss, your entry and exit strategy is very, very key, so that you won't get your finger burned. And when you hit your target of profit, you take out your profit and come back again when it's opportunity to buy. That is way to go in the market.
For the shares of Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, PLC, and the Wema Bank, do you see any profit taking in some of this? Because, of course, they've rallied for instance, for NACO, that's about 16.55% as at last week. Wema Bank did about 40 kobo gain. That's about 14.81%, almost 15% for Wema Bank last week.
For NACO, I would say investors also should be very careful. I think market is reacting to the positive earnings and the corporate action of NACO. NACO declared a 41 kobo dividend and 145 bonus. That moved the price from around 3 naira 80 kobo to 5 naira. The 50 is high for now. For me, if you meet your target there or you achieve your goal there, think about. For those that that are invested and interested in the bonus or dividend, can still hold their position. For Wema, I would say you have to be very careful for Wema Bank. Yes, they declared, is it 24 or 22 kobo dividend? Yes, they've done share reconstruction, and also they have planned also to do another right. That means they want to create back. For me, I would advise investors in this stock to just stay aside, let them finish all
their position.
Yes, let them finish all their reconstruction, and they even come out with another right issue before you can jump in. Let's know where the bank is going. Yes, we heard that private equity is coming to the bank, which is good, but let the numbers speak.
How soon are we likely to see this restructuring?
No, it depends. What they've done, we're looking forward for the rights issue again to come up any moment from now. When it comes, you're going to give the bank another kind of push up. Okay, for investor, just know what we are doing in the stock and also be very careful. It's one of the oldest banks in Nigeria, but we see that they are moving from regional to national now. Gradually, it's a good one for the bank, but we have to be very careful for Wema Bank. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the top 5 decliners for the week. It's not been too good for the Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank. The shares has declined for about 16.06%. That's about 40 kobo. It's no small. 40 kobo is no small when it comes to, if you have to add up that to share price of a company. UAC PLC is in that category. Royal Exchange PLC is in that category. You have CWG PLC. Cornerstone Insurance as well is also in that category as well. So how do you see these shares or these stocks moving up in the new week?
No, seeing this movement for me is good, so that investor will learn how to invest. No stock will continue to go up throughout time. There's always called pullback or this over kind of oscillation or volatility, we call it, or volatility, we call it. Great room for you to buy low and sell high. This stock, what is it called? Police Microfinance released a very good, strong number, but it rallied to almost 2 naira 57 kobo. It came down. This is profit-taking activities. Don't forget that 10 kobo and 149 dividend bonus is ahead before the markdown. For me, for this pullback, it's creating an opportunity for people to enter, especially if you're a long-term investor, you want to take position. This is the time for it, because they have moved down from 2 naira 57 kobo to almost 2 naira 9 kobo. It's a good one for you to buy. Stock like Cornerstone is profit taking. Another one there that is also
Royal Exchange
is also profit taking. These are part of it that will create opportunity for you to buy low. But for Royal Exchange, you also have to be very careful for Royal Exchange, because if you look at the numbers for Royal Exchange, I'll tell you that numbers are not looking good at all. But for stock like Cornerstone that paid almost 5 kobo for stock that's selling below 60 kobo. For me, it's not a bad one. It's a good one for them. Let's see how the market play out this week. But I can tell you that the market will also be in the misdirection depending on the state of the earnings that will hit the market any moment from now. Because this is the week we're expecting the Q1 number to start rolling in the end of April.
But is it likely to have any significant impact in how investors to respond to some of these stocks? Or
I said it earlier that Q1 number is very important, especially being the first one that was seen after we saw a kind of a hike in cost of production in Nigeria. At the same time, inflation looking up. that will tell you which company are able to manage this, because companies that are able to pass their cost to consumers will able to post good number. But those that are unable, it's going to affect their their bottom line, because the cost of production has increased, and definitely is going to hit into your profit, especially if you're unable to pass the increase in your cost to your customer. For those able to do that, they don't have an issue. That is for me. I expect that this market will be missed this week, but let's see what happens to it. We are seeing positive news already coming as the week is kicking off. This news that came from MTN is a good one for the market for this week, and also going for, because also MTN just marked now. People are looking, market are looking forward to their payment, date in a moment from now. Also expecting the current number of MTN, and this will give an eye opener for those that are in MTN to hold their position, because we'll see good, better things coming for MTN.
As we wrap up with this, I mean, it's just almost 2 hours or less than 2 hours that the market today opened. So what do you expect today? 0.45% depreciation for the market last week. So this is the first trading day of the week. If negative, or you're seeing also rise in terms of positive, transactions.
Going by what you just said, for 0.45 last week, I believe that the market won't go deep with that kind of decline again in this new week, because we'll see the positive will play out. We expect companies to start paying their dividend. Those that have this week to pay dividend will pay. That will also bring more liquidity into the market. For me, I expect the market to close up marginally. Let's say improve sentiment. Let me use that language. Expect improved sentiment, sentiment in the market. And for the week, let's also expect the missed trend we have seen so far.
I think we need to leave it there. Thank you so much, Mr. Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited.